Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Peaked in Middle School. My name is Narwhal. I'm here with Kyle.
Hello.
And I'm also here with Cam.
Hello.
And Brian.
What up, everybody?
We talked about a couple weeks ago, we were going to have an episode with 2 TikTok stars. At least that's how we're going to clickbait the episode.
Yeah. No, we got over 100K. We got 100Ks.
Yeah, so these are your guys. Now, we've had Chris.
Slight disappointment.
We've had Chris and Matt both on the podcast multiple times. And
Yeah,
now
my
Brian.
Finally got
my
the
brothers.
last mog.
Yeah, Brian's the last Mog brother.
The best and the oldest.
Rank your brothers right now.
Yeah.
Ooh.
If you had to run into a burning building, who are you taking first?
You guys really gonna make me say this on air?
Yes.
Maddie, I love you. I'm taking Maddie.
Wow.
Oh, you thought I was gonna say Chris?
Rest in peace,
Yeah,
Chris.
so
Love you, bud.
guys, this is how we start it when we have a new guest on the show. Every time, I gotta know, how do you wipe when you take a poop? Do you go back to front or front to back? Because
Or do you wipe? If you don't wipe, that's okay.
maybe you wipe side to side, or you just never wipe.
Zigzag.
That's interesting because I've had recent conversations about getting a bidet.
Oh,
and
dude. Have you?
I'm 100% for a bidet.
Same.
I think getting used to it might take a while, but in the meantime, I am a crumpler. That's what you guys call it.
Oh.
I'm a crumpler, and then I start with a front to back for the first 1 or 2, and then I'll switch to a back to front to make sure we get all the crevices.
Okay.
Hold
Yeah.
on. He is forgetting a key piece.
Side to side.
He admitted this to me last week. He wipes after
Last
he
week.
pees also. He does.
There's
True or
times-
false?
Dab.
Cam, true or false?
No, I don't wipe.
I'll dab if it,
I will dab it. I will
I'll dab it if
You-
it gets messy.
He said
It
it
always
leaks.
gets messy.
What are you
It
talking
He
never
said
not
it leaks.
leaks.
I just let mine leak.
Why?
It'll leak a little
I'm not
bit.
gonna wipe when I
Why?
pee.
It's a waste of.
It's for poop.
Pee-free underwear at all times.
It's a waste of resources. Mine's got like a couple drops in it, but it's fine.
Wow.
Yeah, but the feeling of putting your dick back in your pants and then your boxers get a little wet from the pee that's on the end
Yeah,
of
that's
your
why you
wiener,
shake well, though.
it doesn't feel good.
Exactly. Why
And-
not dab it? Take an extra 5 seconds.
Or just finish your pee.
I finished the pee.
I get it. I feel you.
I don't
okay?
stop
They're,
midway
just suck
through
it
and
up.
say whatever.
they're gonna judge you, but we'll let the fans decide.
All right, cool.
We can see if
I'll
it's
take
weird or
that.
not.
Okay,
It might be weird, but I'm not going to change it.
Brian, how do you wipe?
I wipe. What's front? This way?
Yeah,
going
that's
this
front
way.
to back.
Yeah, like balls.
I'm all front to back.
Okay.
100%. I don't know if I crumple. I
So-
think I do both.
dirty,
not-
dirty.
I don't
Tobin.
really care.
So do you
Dirty.
guys ever? Will you ever like fold your toilet paper nicely in like so it's not like just a random crumpled mess, but like when you first get it, will you fold it?
It depends on the toilet paper. If we're like in a public restroom and the toilet paper is like super thin and like paper,
Yeah.
you gotta fold it or else you're gonna get knifed.
That's
Can't
true.
get knifed.
That's
Knife.
true.
So
You
that's
get
when I
chafed.
fold
Oh,
it.
wow.
Yeah,
Whoa.
that'll burn.
That's
hole.
when I fold. Yeah, you don't want me
Yeah,
chafing.
I feel that.
Oh, I'm almost the reverse. Because the reason that you do the crumple is to increase the surface area of like all the little things that will capture the residue. So if you're gonna be folding, I mean, essentially public restrooms are crappy toilet paper, and part of the qualities of a crappy toilet paper, it's very
coarse.
it's coarse, but it doesn't have the ridges that a Charmin would.
Okay, that's true.
And so if you fold it, you're literally wiping with a flat piece of paper. That's gonna grab nothing.
That's true.
Did you say
Yo.
Charmin? Like toilet paper, like the name of Charmin?
Yeah, that's the
Charmin,
brand.
Charmin Ultra. I use Charmin Ultra Extra Soft with aloe infused.
Seems like
To-
Cam
double
does
ply.
a lot of research on his toilet paper.
It's a science.
I like to do a lot of research on everything.
Yeah. Be
What have
honest,
you
have
done
you
on
guys what's the weirdest thing you've ever resorted to wiping with? When you ran out
Hands,
and like you couldn't
Rug.
find anything?
boxers.
Okay. When I was little, I'm golfing by myself, and I had to go to the bathroom. There was nothing to wipe with. I used my golf towel, wiped, and left the towel. I have done that.
More than once?
No, just
Oh,
once.
okay.
$22.
I was like
Titleist-
9. Give me some credit.
Titleist
Come on.
golf towel.
That's not too
Yeah.
bad. But that's like wiping with like a $20 bill. Like
Yeah.
That's- yeah,
Damn.
bro.
I've never not wiped. I mean, maybe tissues. I don't even think tissue. I mean, every time I
I've
go to the
used
bathroom,
paper
I
towels.
double check. Like, is there
Wow.
toilet paper? I think.
Yeah. No,
To
I mean
play it
that's
safe.
that's what you should do.
Okay.
I just
Even as a young child, I think that's maybe how I was nurtured.
Okay. That's good. It seems like you're a cleanly guy. Cleanly?
Cleanly.
Yeah,
It
we,
seems
we,
like you're a clean guy.
we keep
And
it clean on the
we are
podcast.
historically not the
Clean.
cleanest.
Well, do you guys wash your feet?
I
In the
saw
shower?
that. I saw that, and you don't, right?
No, not really.
Like you don't use soap or anything?
Like I use soap, but like
Not
I
on his
don't. I'm not
well,
going
you let
after
the
my
soap
feet.
drip off your body and wash
Yeah.
it that way naturally.
Is that
Yeah,
what you
like-
do?
Sometimes I'll wash my feet. If they're stanky, I'll wash them.
Yeah,
I'll
like,
say 90% of the times I don't.
Okay, that's what I'm. Yeah,
It's waste.
I'm like 95
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just how we like to start the episodes, just kind of break the ice a little bit. I think that's the best way to get to know someone is if you learn how they deal with piss and shit, you break through a lot of barriers that otherwise you have to get to later.
That's true.
You know?
That's
So,
facts.
guys, for those of you who don't know, what are your ats on TikTok if they are avid TikTok users and want to go check it out?
I think mine's just Brian Dash. No,
No, it's
I think
probably
it's just
no
at
dash.
Brian Mogg.
You should know this.
BRIANMOGG.
You got
at Brian
you got
Mogg.
the OG at.
The
That's
OG.
nice.
Yeah, all of my social medias for the ever in the history of the world are just at cameos.
It's
Yeah,
Yost,
yeah.
not
Yes.
use.
Okay.
Yeah,
He
it's
thought it
Yost.
was
I thought it
use.
was use my whole life.
Well, here's the thing. So you know how a lot of people have like kind of complicated names and they'll be like pissed if you get them wrong?
Yeah.
Like, no, it's Yost, not use. Like, so growing up, I mean, it's spelled Yoos. So nobody says use. Every single person, or nobody says Yost. Everybody says use. And I've never corrected anybody until usually about 6 months in. So if somebody knows me for about 6 months, then I'll
then
start to
you'll
like
tell
correct
them.
them. But like Maddie Mogg calls me use all the time. I don't even correct Maddie.
He told me
Yeah.
that. He's like
Yeah.
I know it's wrong, but I call him it because it sounds like that's just what it comes into my head.
Yeah, I never really cared. So call me use.
What about like your girlfriend? Did she ever call you use? Like,
She calls him daddy.
babe, listen.
She doesn't call me that. I don't know. Maybe early on she called me use, and maybe I would have corrected her. But I think she probably just heard me say it.
So you're all for
before she
freedom of
really used
speech.
100% for freedom of
Just
speech.
patriotic. That's great.
Absolutely. Yeah.
If you could legally change your name to your first name to something, what would you do?
Johnny.
Johnny?
Daddy, Johnny Yost.
Daddy?
My girlfriend hates it. I tell her to call me daddy all the time. She won't do it.
Yeah.
Would you want to be actually called Daddy?
Daddy.
It's
Big
gonna be
Daddy.
fun
What about
for, like, the
Zaddy?
first week.
No, daddy.
Just Daddy.
All day daddy.
Okay.
So yeah, how many followers you guys have? Who's in the lead? Because it's kind of been a race in the past.
Ooh.
Oh, it's been a
Okay, so
race.
it was a race. I took an early lead, so I got a big viral video within the first week. It got like 3 million hits. So I was in the lead from the get-go, and then all of a sudden, back in must have been March, I was up in
You're
Bellingham
probably
on a
up
client.
50K on me.
Yeah, I was at 50K. I think I was at 70 when he was at 10 for like the long time. And then I was on a client in March, and then all of a sudden, B-Mog throws up the stupidest video of all time.
It was
Goes-
pretty stupid.
It goes off.
Wait, so which was the
was it?
what was each of
Well-
your first video that like blew up?
So my first video again was a week in, and it was I mean, I do skits, you know, I do like fake kind of comedy skits, and it was a video where my girlfriend comes in with a dog and she pretends that she bought it.
Oh,
while she
I
was
remember
shopping.
it.
Yeah, I saw that.
You know, something simple, but you know, it shouldn't have gone viral, I don't think, but it ended up doing pretty well.
Like 3 or 4 mil.
It got, I think, 3 million in a week, and I got about 10,000 followers from it.
Just casual.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
So
don't
it's
think I had
solid.
a video hit 1 million until months after I started. I think I had one that got like 500K. It was my girlfriend going into a ring store looking at rings, and I'm outside, and it was captioned like, "When your girlfriend's looking at rings 1 week into dating." And I was
Yeah.
just all pissed. That's literally what the video was.
Oh, she was just in the store and then walked out, and that's it.
She was in the store. She's like, "I want to go look at jewelry or whatever,"
Oh.
and she was looking at rings, and I was just like, "This TikTok
Oh,
material."
you
right
didn't
here.
tell her to go in there to
Uh-uh.
film a TikTok?
She just
She's
went in.
actually doing it?
Oh, so
Oh.
that was
She
like
wanted
a
to
real
go
one.
in.
That's authentic.
She wanted to go in, and I was like, "Oh, we can make this into a TikTok." And then I showed her
That's
after,
usually
and
how
she's
the
like, "Let's
TikTok
go."
mind works, is just kind of monitoring everything that's going on. Be like, yeah, that could be a TikTok. Nah, it can't be. Yeah, that could be a TikTok.
Yeah.
And then you just film it.
So what's the key to becoming viral on TikTok? We all want to learn.
wish
We all
I
want to
knew.
know.
So, I mean, I think that a big part of it's luck and a big part of it's personality. But I think that some of the main go-tos that I am pretty convinced that everybody that wants to succeed on TikTok needs to have is good camera quality. So definitely HD, 1080 or 4K if you can. Good lighting. And like it looks almost more like a production.
Interesting.
Because I think not only like when you're scrolling through the videos you see good production. I mean you guys throw up good production.
Yeah.
I think that works wonders for you guys. You're more inclined to watch that video than if something were filmed on a potato with terrible lighting.
That's true.
Yeah.
But also I think that TikTok as a company promotes. I mean they obviously do their own promotions on the For You page. They will promote videos, which I've heard from a lot of people. More so if a video has good lighting and better production.
Oh, interesting.
That's
Yeah.
interesting because I disagree with you on that. I do think it helps. For sure it helps to have good lighting, good video, good production, whatever.
Yeah.
But most of my videos, you'd agree, don't have the greatest lighting, the greatest camera work, the greatest whatever.
Well, no, I'm
Agree or
not. I'm
disagree?
saying like comparatively, like because I mean, as you guys probably know, TikTok's fairly younger crowd.
Yeah.
And so a lot of our followers are like younger guys and girls that are doing these dance videos. And when you look at their videos, they're like literally filmed on a potato.
Yeah, and they're horrible.
And
Yeah.
and they get one or
Okay.
two views per video. Like, and your video is still filmed on like a decent iPhone. Like, yeah, maybe the lighting isn't the best.
That's fair.
but-
Okay, so you're talking about like really bad lighting.
Yeah, I'm talking about
Okay.
really.
But now,
In a
but
closet.
would you say that content is still king? Do you think the idea is ultimately what's the most important as
Yes.
opposed
Yeah.
to like
Literally,
how you film? Like,
literally 100%.
because that's like with
Yeah.
YouTube, videos go viral that are like literally filmed on a potato, but it doesn't matter because it's like a cool idea or whatever.
yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, okay.
But there's just so many different types of content. So
Yeah.
it's like, I can't be like, well, the best way to do it is through comedy skits.
Yeah.
Or
Well, I
you
think
know.
if you're doing like a public prank or something, like I have some videos where we're in public, there's a bunch of people around, and I will yell, I have to poop as loud as I can, and my girlfriend goes off running. I'm purposely trying to embarrass her, and those aren't super good quality videos.
Yeah, it's
but
just
they're
the
really
idea.
funny, so that's how they go viral.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay. I have to know, do you guys like, so a lot of, they're obviously like staged. Like
yeah,
none of them are like legit pranks, right? Like
prank wise, I would say no.
like
They're
the
probably
people in
staged.
your TikToks are always in on it. You're like, all right, I'm gonna do this, then you're gonna do
but
that.
It
People
just
think it's
depends
real,
what the
though?
video is. So
But like the kids all think it's real, right? That's why they go
Yeah.
viral.
I don't
There's some
think
dumb
so.
kids though.
Yeah, there's some dumb kids. I always try and make my videos
Obviously a skit.
obviously a
Yeah.
skit. And so if it's not obviously a skit, like we had one where we did like a prank and where he put my phone in the toilet. Put my phone in the toilet. And I was thinking about it. I was like, well, people that are watching it might actually think that's real, especially because they're younger crowd. So I went like overboard with the acting to make it like this is acting.
Like, it
because
was
I
the
don't want it to like
dumbest prank
deceive
ever.
people.
Yeah,
And if at that point, if you think it's real, then I did all I could do. So
yeah.
Okay.
Do you guys enjoy the do you like making those skits, or are there times where you're like, oh, this will probably go viral, so let's just do it? Like, do you
Do it
ever
for
make
clout.
them
Well-
just because like it'll get views, or do you actually like have fun doing these like skits?
Okay, so here's my motivation behind making TikToks. There's honestly nothing more fun than when your video pops off. It is so much fun. You see your followers growing. I hate to say it, but I do it for the clout.
Okay.
And
That's
when you see
honest.
a video taken off, it is so much fun. And so half the time you're just sitting there, you're like, I kind of want a viral video. So you're just trying to think of things. And it is kind of fun to make TikToks. Like me and Cam would be like, dude, you want to come over and make talks? And it's really fun.
That's like the phrase, like, hey,
Let's go talk.
let's
Yeah.
talk tonight.
We're going talking.
I would say I kind of gear more towards I just like I think it's fun. I enjoy
Yeah.
making TikToks. I think I could definitely gear more towards getting viral, and there's definitely ideas where I'm like, I know it's gonna go viral, but I'm not gonna do that because I don't necessarily like think that's a good like image or whatever.
Yeah.
I just think it's fun. I mean, for the most part, neither of us are gonna have a career out of it, so it's not like if I have 10,000 followers or 10 million followers. Well, 10 million, I'd probably make
No,
that.
that'd
million
make
you
it
could
cool.
probably-
out of it for
10,000 or like 500,000. It's realistically probably not going to make that much of a difference except for getting more sponsors.
Yeah.
But even then, it's like sponsors aren't that much money. So
But
Yeah.
I have seen the depression involved when your guys' TikToks don't do well.
yeah,
I have
if,
seen it
if I
firsthand.
put in a lot of effort,
And you
And it
think it's a
doesn't
good
well.
video. That's
if
the
I think
worst.
it's a good video.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I swear, sometimes you make something, you're like, this is so good, and it just flops, and you don't know why, and you're like, are you kidding me? And then sometimes you have a really good or a really bad video that takes off, and you're like, TikTok's stupid.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I mean, I can totally relate with YouTube. Like, I've been doing YouTube for like a long time, and it almost seems like the videos you care less about and spend no time on are the
Yeah.
ones that do better. And then you spend like a month on a video and no one gives a shit, and it's the worst. But like, do you guys feel like, so obviously, like, we'll get into it later, but you guys, as long as I've known you guys, always do like pranks, just weird,
Yeah.
goofy stuff in public.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there times where you're like, you want to do something that you think would be funny and enjoyable, but you know that it wouldn't fit like your TikTok page? So you like,
Oh, for sure. I
Yeah.
mean, there's definitely things that we do that are more just like who we are. that we don't put on TikTok because again, we have kind of like a TikTok genre scene.
Yeah.
But I also think for the most part, the reason that we did TikTok was we're always kind of into that like grinding, for like entertainment and whatever. And TikTok is just such an easy way to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And like it just so happened that our content kind of popped off and it's great. But it's just something that we thought was fun, I think, for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, forever growing up, we used to do stupid things, and we wouldn't even film half of them, honestly.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
For
most
the
of them,
longest
Like,
time, you guys didn't
Like,
film any
people
of
were
them.
always
Yeah.
like, you need to make YouTube videos. You need to, like, start filming this stuff because we just put it on our Snapchat story or whatever of us yelling something in the mall or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Because it was
The
just fun to do.
Olympics.
Like, half the
Yeah.
time it's fun to do, or, like, if Cam loses in something, there's a punishment on the line.
Yeah.
Can we rattle off
And
some
it's
punishments
brutal.
and stuff?
Well, wait,
Oh, we can rattle them off.
wait. That's a whole nother section. I want to get into those later. Okay?
They're pretty recent
We'll
too.
get there.
Kyle's
So-
been a part of one of
I
them.
have
Not
been-
Kyle and John.
We've all been.
We've all had punishments, yeah.
We'll get into it.
We'll get into those in a bit. But so I thought it was interesting when Brian, you said like you almost do it more for just the idea or like the feeling of growing this like page basically, as opposed
Yeah.
to like
Well-
in love with the process of making the TikToks.
Yeah, so that's the difference between maybe me and Cam is, for example, like I might love going viral more than him, so I'm willing to maybe do something that he wouldn't do, or that could affect your self-image a little bit, just because it's fun to go viral. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I just thought that was interesting because I've noticed like I'm really big in the whole YouTube and gaming scene, and I've noticed a very similar thing where like people will make content for a couple years and it doesn't really pop off. And then, for example, like Fortnite came out and people maybe don't even like playing Fortnite that much, but they realize their videos just blow up when they play Fortnite. So
Yeah.
they do it. They don't even really care that much about Fortnite, but they just build their whole career on like playing Fortnite just because that's what's going to like grow their channel. And even though like they'd probably rather play like GTA or like Call of Duty or whatever, they don't, because it's like, why would I do that when these other ones are going to pop off way more?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think also a lot of people are like, because you can turn that into a career, streaming on
Yeah.
Twitch and whatever. I just think I think if I had the opportunity to turn this into a career, I might gear it more towards that way.
Yeah.
But since there's like, I'm not going to become famous or make money off of it.
Hey, don't
it's
say
like,
that.
Doesn't,
Hey,
See,
never
he-
say nay.
he
it
thinks
doesn't really matter.
He thinks super realistically. Me, in the back of my head, I think part of the reason why I want to go viral so bad is like, what if I got to 1 million followers? I could make some money off of it. That's
Yeah.
kind of the motivation. It's not like I literally only do it for the love of it. If our videos were only flops, I guarantee you we would not make as many. Or at
Oh,
least
for sure.
if I couldn't get a viral hit and I had 2,000 followers, I'd probably not even
Yeah.
make them anymore.
It's not the love of the game.
But now I feel obligated. It's not love of the game. I do not do
Hey.
TikTok for the love of the game.
that's okay.
That's okay.
That's all right.
I saw a couple weeks ago, Barstool.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
they posted on Twitter or something, like a screenshot that their TikTok has now the same amount of followers as their Instagram.
Mhm.
But they said something about how like you can't monetize TikTok. Like 500,000 on TikTok is not nearly the same as 500,000
Oh,
on Instagram,
1
It's
trillion
like it's like
percent.
not even 10,000 on Instagram.
which is
probably.
Why,
crazy to
So-
me.
That's
So a big reason why well, first of all, the TikTok algorithm is so much more focused on follower gaining. And so like on Instagram, when you guys go on Instagram, I guarantee you most of your time is probably spent on your normal page where you're looking at people that follow you. Maybe you guys go to the Explore page. Apparently a lot of people go on the Explore page. I've never
I
I'm not-
rarely do.
I've never been
No,
on the
same.
Explore
I do.
page. I don't
Yeah.
care anything about Explore. So I'm only looking at people that I follow. But TikTok, you're like 99% of people are only looking through the For You page.
That makes
And
sense.
so-
yeah, that's true.
Which, if you're not on TikTok, that basically TikTok intentionally promotes like
Other people
It's
that
like
you
an
follow.
explore page of people who you don't follow, but videos that are popping off.
Also people that you follow though.
Okay, yeah.
So if somebody's following me and they like all my videos, I'll probably be on their For You page when I post a new video so
Yeah.
that they don't have to just go to their following page.
yeah,
But with that said, yeah, so like the way to gain followers is so much easier in TikTok. And if you look at the people on TikTok, the following to follower ratio, it's either you have like me 180,000 followers following 50 or you're following 10,000 people followed by 5.
yeah.
And so but the reason why it's not easily monetized is because TikTok hasn't really gone into that realm yet. You can't like do direct links except for in your bio. And there's just a lot of things that you can't do that doesn't make it very business friendly. So
Yeah.
it's hard to monetize it.
And I assume that the businesses that like reach out for sponsorships, they know that like in a sense these followers carry like less weight, kind of like it's like
I don't think they know.
I don't
Quite
think.
honestly, like most of the companies I've had reach out to me are like, yeah, we've been looking to do like a TikTok sponsorship thing. They know nothing about TikTok. And we tell them we have 300K followers and they think that's 300K on Instagram. That's a lot.
oh
He
okay.
gets 100,000 per video thinking, but the video could flop and then it gets 5,000 views.
Yeah. Okay.
Interesting.
That's just so crazy because you were saying like it's probably not a full-time career type of thing for you.
Yeah.
But someone who has 180K on Instagram, like
That is a full time.
Yeah,
They're
you
like
can
that
make it a
basically
job if you do it right.
could be a full-time career
Yeah.
if they wanted it to be.
Yeah. Yeah. I
So-
mean, I tried to get sponsorship deals starting in like February. So I went from like February to like mid-March. So probably a month and a half where I was like, I'm just going to try and get sponsors, see what I can do. And in that month and a half, I got a little over $5,000 worth of product. So obviously it's not money, and that's like somebody who has 180,000 on TikTok, which in TikTok world, that's not very much.
Yeah.
So you can definitely still monetize it. I don't know. I mean, you probably need at least a couple million to like live off of it.
Dude,
But it's possible.
that's so annoying to me when companies are like, "Hey, we can't pay you, but we'll send you like
Our
this
stuff.
We'll send you this controller." I'm like, "I don't want a controller. I want money."
But sometimes the stuff is really cool.
yeah,
Like
sure.
sometimes it's stuff you want.
That's the shirt you're wearing, right? That's something you got?
No, I
The
did get similar thing though.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, so can we talk about this?
Yes. So, were you saying that there's a shirt that has like pads in the pits to make it not?
Yeah,
Like,
so
you not
people
sweat.
with hyperhidrosis. So for those that don't know, hyperhidrosis is excessive sweating.
Wait, do you have that?
Never even
Yeah.
heard that
Wait,
before.
so I must have. We
I'm-
both
we
must
just-
have it.
I only have it
I
on my
don't know,
hands.
like,
I
this
is a
literally
room of
only have it on my
hyperhidrosis.
I
hands.
don't know, like technically, like
If
what the cutoff for hyperhidrosis is.
yeah.
Amount of sweat.
I have technically been diagnosed with it because I
Oh,
needed it for a
Whoa.
sponsorship. But
Oh.
so I do have hyperhidrosis specifically in the armpits. Brian has it on his hands.
I think I have
My
both.
sister has it on her hands for sure.
Yeah, it's super common. So like for me growing up, that's like all I ever knew. And so when I see like people like on stage, for example, in like an award show when they're wearing just a t-shirt and no
And they're
undershirt,
just pitting out.
Yeah.
no, and they're not pitting out. I'm
Oh,
like,
oh,
how is
yeah,
that
yeah.
possible?
I would be like, you
yeah,
see it here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so maybe 3 or 4 years ago, I found this company called Aegis, E-J-I-S.
E-jizz?
E-jizz. Sounds like a,
Aegis
okay.
with an S.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Aegis.
Not
And so
jizz.
basically they make an undershirt and it's like a polyester so it fits a little bit tighter. And it has like an actual like pad of,
Dude.
I don't know what it's made. Maybe it's probably not cotton because I don't think it like super absorbs anything.
Okay.
But there's a pad in the armit.
See,
And
this
so
is
it
what I
captures all the sweat.
This is
I thought I was the first one to come up with this idea, but I guess
I
I'm
had the
so,
idea
I'm
too.
so
He's
far
bummed.
behind.
I know.
Quick disclaimer, and if anybody from my high school is listening to this, there were times where I would wear long sleeve shirts and I would go into the bathroom and get paper towels and fold them up and put them in my shirt for the whole day.
You'd walk around with them
No,
in there?
For the
you
whole day.
wouldn't. No,
Because,
you
like,
wouldn't.
I had to.
No, you wouldn't.
I had to, or else I would pit
That's
out.
going in the
Yo,
best man speech.
I can
Well, assuming you make it.
I can relate though. Like, I dreaded whenever I got PE in like the middle of the day
Oh, that would-
because
yeah.
once I start sweating, there's no stopping it.
Once you mentally, well, because mine's more of a nervous thing. It's not as much like
Same.
heat.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like if it's hot out, like it'll probably do it, but it'll be much more, and it's like very minimal, like 1% nervous. So if I'm
Yeah.
with friends, like,
Just a
I'm not-
social
You would
environment.
never say you're actually nervous with friends,
or when
No.
you're on a
but in
first
your
date
mind,
or
your mind's
something.
like, oh, he's kind of nervous, time to pit out, you know?
And then you start thinking about it more.
Yeah, and once you feel it and you know it's there,
Yeah.
your body's like, ooh, you're screwed
Dude,
now.
I've said
I
that,
feel
on,
that.
I've said that on the show that there's a threshold, and as soon as you pass where the first little bead of sweat comes out,
You're done.
it's just unleashes and
Yeah.
it just
Yeah,
won't
it's
stop.
tsunami in my armpit.
Yeah.
right
Well,
now.
dude, I get it in my hands so bad, and I used to be nervous back in the day when I go on a first date.
Yeah.
Or if I'm hanging out with a girl, I know I'm gonna like hold their hand because they touch my hand, and they're like, I just
Ew.
see them like instantly after they touch my hand, like
You're
wipe their
ew,
hands,
that's
and I'm like,
disgusting.
Or it's like a job interview.
like
and
an-
you're
you gotta shake their hand, and they're just
Yeah.
always sweaty, even if you're not like that nervous. If it's just
Yeah.
kind of warm, your hands are
Yeah.
sweaty. It's the worst.
There's actually like gel that I think you like, or like lotion, but it intentionally is for people
It
who
soaks
can't.
it out.
It like soaks it
It's
out.
like
I
glue
need-
that
I
just
need-
glues.
I need
up
all
your
Kyle,
your
let's go to the
sweat
store
pores.
afterwards. Let's go cop
Well,
some.
no,
I need
but I
all
think
the products.
this also kind of perfectly ties into what you were saying about like I wouldn't want a company to give me product, like give me money. Well, I actually reach out to all my sponsors. So everything that I get from a sponsorship is stuff that I want because I'm like, this is cool. I want this. Let me reach out to them. And obviously the success rate's not 100%, but I get a lot of people.
Yeah.
What would you say your success rate is?
60.
Maybe, no, probably like 40.
Oh, that's pretty good.
That's
probably
really
40.
good though.
And it's usually about, I would say, estimate about $250 of product per video, per 30-second video.
Oh, that's pretty good.
And so, and I was up late one night and I saw this commercial on YouTube for this company called Dermadry, and they make a machine. It's like an ISO something machine that sends electromagnetic impulses into your pits. Just hands and feet to stop sweating.
Do you like sleep with this, or do you
No,
wear it
it's
during
like
the day?
15-minute treatment.
Do you
Like
just
three
go
or
into
four
the
times a
bathroom
week.
and put your
Yeah,
arms
yeah.
up and then just hold it there for like 15
No,
minutes?
so it's like this. It's like basically a metal block that's like a conductor. I don't know about electricity, but I'm just
Yeah.
gonna say conductor, and
Sure.
it has electricity flowing through. You plug it in, and you put little pads in there, and you just put them on your armpits, and you just sit there 15 minutes. So I'm like playing a game on my phone while I do this.
Oh
And so, but I reach out to them.
so
I'm like,
funny.
hey, I suffer from whatever this is called. Later, I find out it's hyperhidrosis, and they're like, yeah, we would love to sponsor you. We'll send you a machine. You need a prescription because they're like a Canadian-based company, but for FDA, you need a prescription. So like, we'll pay for your prescription. I was clinically diagnosed
So
with
you went to a doctor
hyperhidrosis.
and like told
Well,
him.
no,
"Yeah,
I did it.
sweat."
I did it
You
on like
just
a
told-
mobile
Oh.
doctor. Greatest invention of all
Yeah,
time.
mobile
Mobile
doctors.
doctors.
I've never tried a mobile
WebMD.
doctor.
I've
Oh
never
my
done
gosh,
it.
I was so like, it was cool because he was like telling me all these things. He's like, yeah, you should probably get this hyperhidrosis machine, but also here's some other things you can do to help. I'm like, cool. I just need a
Were we
prescription.
just chatting
This
with
is
him, like
awesome.
texting him basically
Yeah,
online?
basically it was like a messaging.
Does he
system.
follow you now?
Yeah, he follows me on all platforms.
That's cool.
Hey, follow me on TikTok.
That's how you meet friends.
It's just funny because, like, I don't know, what was it? Probably like a month ago now or something. Kyle brought up that idea, and I was like, oh, like, how could they do that? Like, I don't think that's very realistic.
I was
And
prepared to make millions.
I was like, oh, there's no way that's a thing.
No, but you still could make millions because like you suffer
Design it
from
better.
excessive sweat and you've never heard of them.
That's
Better
true.
marketing,
And there's-
dude.
Yeah.
Because
That's
I'm
true.
sure
Probably
so
not many
many
companies.
I
When we
see
get
so many
big,
people
I'm-
pitting out.
Yeah. I'm gonna create like a real shirt like
Just make
that.
a better.
but
Oh.
somehow make it.
Or do it with dress shirts.
So it's like
yeah, like dress shirts. That'd
something
be
that you don't want to wear as an undershird. Like, it's your shirt.
you hate
shirt.
undershirts.
shirt. But
Yeah.
I don't know how that's even.
It's like a
possible.
But the only
fashionable
thing is
button-up.
the great thing about undershirts is you can wear any shirt with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a fairly expensive undershirt. So if you have it invested in one shirt, if you don't want to pit out, you have to buy like 10 of them for a full wardrobe.
That's true.
yeah.
I mean, then I make more money because then they're buying more of them. I just
Kyle's just gonna make a shitty product that intentionally just doesn't work.
exactly.
Huge
What makes
margins,
it-
like 400%.
It's like a disposable shirt. For
Wait,
$60 bucks.
I got a question for Cam. When you used
Shoot.
to put paper stuff in
Paper towels.
Oh yeah, we
in
kind
your
of skipped
pits,
over that.
Did they ever fall out?
Like
Like, what were you doing if you were like, you're talking to some girl and you're like, oh shoot, it's sliding out.
Well, no, because I had known, like, I had mentally prepped myself, like, hey, I'm putting these paper towels in there, Cameron. Don't screw this up.
So you're just walking
And
around
so,
like.
well, no, because
okay.
first of all, I would only do with long sleeve shirts.
Okay.
And so what I would do is I would get a fairly long paper towel, and so it would basically create a nice V, where
Oh, you wouldn't crumple
gravitationally,
'em up.
it's not going to be able to
no,
really
you
fall
can't
out either
crumple
way.
them up. You gotta
Just
have
a
it be
line.
comfy and like smooth on your pit.
I
Yeah.
feel like it would like give
No,
you
I
a
wouldn't
rash.
crumple them up. Yeah, I
Did
wouldn't
it give you
crumple
a
them up.
rash?
No. I'm not like running with them. Like I didn't.
What about
put
like
them in
PE?
gym
Do you
class?
take them off?
He'd take them out.
Well, no, yeah, we'd
Yeah,
change.
but
and
someone sees you take it out. You take your shirt off. Like,
Oh,
Cam, why do you
he's-
have paper towels in your pits?
Oh,
no,
Cam's
I was
sneaky.
strategic.
All right.
I was strategic.
Planned out when
I
you put it
can't
in.
believe you never. That this is that your first time saying it to anyone?
I'd never
I mean,
heard
that
it.
I know of, maybe.
Literally,
Wow.
I've never
But
heard
it's not like one of those things where it's like one of my
Oh
deepest, darkest secrets.
I
It's
mean-
just something that hasn't really come up and slightly embarrassing.
No, but like, even if it's not embarrassing, the fact that we just learned something about you that no one else, maybe in the world, knows.
Yeah,
This is a big
Until
moment
on
for our
air.
show.
Until
think
on
this,
air.
This will be to your listeners before to my mom
Wow.
Wow.
and to
guys.
my girlfriend probably.
Wha-
I'm assuming I haven't told her that.
This is where insecurities come out.
Guys, that is why our show is so special. We learn so much about each other from this show.
You learn
It's a
things
really
about
good bonding
yourselves.
experience.
Yeah. There's so many things that I've said on this show that if it wasn't for the content of the show, I never would have said them to anyone ever.
Me too. One of them, for example, this is an embarrassing thing for me. I was at a sleepover in 6th grade, and I was sleeping with my neighbor, and I wet the bed.
Ooh.
At a
Like,
neighbor's
in the
in
bed
the
with
same
him?
bed.
I wasn't in 6th grade. I was in
Ninth grade.
I was in like
Ninth grade.
I was in like 4th grade, and I wet the bed in their guest bedroom, and he was also in the bed.
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
Did he catch you?
Yeah, he pulled over. Like I
What'd
was I woke up in the middle of the night, and I was like, oh no.
Wait,
What'd you
4th
say?
grade? Isn't that kind of late to wet the bed?
Yeah,
It's like really
like
late.
it could have been 3rd grade. Like it's a little
I feel like
blurry.
the cutoff's like almost kindergarten.
But I feel like he was. You look for some people, but like I just remember him waking up, and he like I was kind of hogging the blankets, and he kind of like pulled the blankets over, and he's like, "Oh, why is it wet?" I was just like,
Oh my god.
I was like, I don't know.
well, because there's no
Dude.
outs there. There's no. I remember when I was younger, I used to like bring my mattress downstairs into the living room because I love to sleep in the living room because there was a TV.
oh,
Fall asleep to the TV, and I was fairly young, and I had peed on the mattress, and I had like sheets over it, and I was like, and I woke up at like 4 a.m. I peed it, and I was like, oh shoot. Luckily, I knew how to do laundry because my mom like made me do laundry since like age 2. And so I was like, all right, I'm just gonna do laundry because it's like 4 a.m. They're not gonna wake up in time. I pull off the sheets, and there's like the big pee stain on the mattress itself.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And so you
Super
just kind
yellow.
of you wash it, you throw it on, and hopefully nobody ever touches your sheets again.
And then 10 years later, like when you get home from college or something, your mom like pulls off the sheets and just
Yeah.
sees the huge pee stain.
Did you
and then
get
you just
caught?
deny it.
Not knowingly. I mean, I'm sure they eventually found out. They weren't gonna
Yeah.
like confront me on it. Like, hey, did you pee this like 4 years ago?
Yeah. I feel like out of everyone I know in the world, you two guys come to mind when I think of like people that like just don't care in the not in like the sense of like don't put an effort, but in the sense of like you don't care if like you do something and people see it, or you don't. I feel like it's just hard for you guys to like get embarrassed.
Yeah.
Not very shameful.
I think we
Yeah.
get embarrassed less than a normal person.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
But
For
part
sure
of that
less.
is because I think we're just used to it.
You put in your put in
Like-
your 10,000 hours.
Yeah.
You've
Yeah.
practiced.
That's-
We've embarrassed
yeah.
ourselves enough to where it's like I'm used to it. Like it's whatever.
That's true.
Yeah.
I do think it's a comfortability thing. Like,
Yeah.
getting embarrassed for the first time is obviously the worst, and then just like anything else, eventually you get used to it. But I think that we have a personality type. Maybe we're just born with it, or maybe it was
Maybe it's Maybelline.
nurture. But we just like to be in those kind of positions, and
Yeah, you're
entertain
entertainers.
and-
You want to be an
Well,
entertainer.
and
that's a byproduct.
I
of
feel
it.
like at this point, it's almost like you can't get as embarrassed because people expect these things from you. So, like, if I get a random Snapchat from you guys and you're just, like, in the shower, like, basically naked and just, like, a random Snapchat with,
Why
like,
would anybody ever send that?
like, we
Go
play,
lost
we
in
play, like, when we
odds
play
or something
Snapchat
like
game.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we play
yeah,
odds.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
if you
play
lose
odds, and if
odds.
you lose,
Okay.
we have,
We've
like,
done
embarrassing
stuff like
Snapchat.
that. Not
You're
that,
just saying
but
off
stuff
the
like that.
cuff.
Well,
or
it's
just-
not. I'm not expecting, like, naked pictures from you. But, like, if I get one, I'm not, like, shocked.
You
know?
just assume we
oh,
lost
it's like,
the
oh, they
bet,
just
or
lost
we're
in
just trying to be
Olympics.
idiots.
Basically,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, whatever. Scroll past it.
Yeah, so that's kind of good because you guys have now built up this reputation where it's like it'll be harder for you guys to like get not canceled, but like get in trouble or like get your friends to be like, oh, why'd you do that? Because you've done it for so long.
Yeah.
That
You're
now it's kind of the
indestructible.
norm.
Like I've
we are
had
invincible, literally.
I have for sure posted things on my Instagram story that are like super embarrassing, and people just reply, "What did you lose a bet or something like
Yeah.
that?" Because they just assume. So it's kind of nice for us.
Yeah. So I wanted to actually talk about some of the like. So Kyle and I have talked about before when we hit 100 reviews on the Apple Podcast app on this podcast. We're 5 away.
Real close.
Guys,
So-
everybody leave a
We're
5-star
so-
review
Please
right
leave a
now.
review.
Yes.
Please.
Thank
You guys heard them. Leave a review. We need 5 more. And when we get to 100, we've said it. Kyle and I are going to do a Habanero podcast. So we're going to eat a habanero and then record the podcast right after. And it's going to be hilarious, I think. But this all started, like these ideas of little milestone challenges started because of these two
You guys are the inspiration behind it.
Hey, I appreciate that.
So
Yeah.
So actually, speaking of habaneros, I had just lost golf. We were playing golf. Me, our friend David, and Brian was playing righty because obviously he's a professional golfer. So
yeah, I didn't even
Oh,
mention
yeah,
that.
we
We got
gotta say that.
that was on my
Oh,
list
we don't
too.
need to talk about that. Professional TikToker.
yeah,
Oh,
professional. all
That's why I'm
TikTok.
on the show. Come on.
I don't have a job either. It's just TikTok.
Yeah.
But I'd lost and I had to eat 2 habaneros a couple days ago
Back to back.
at the same time.
Ooh.
Oh,
You
Same
should
time.
have seen him the next morning. He goes downstairs.
Squirting.
So he went poop that night a couple
Twice.
times, and he's like, "Guys, I think I avoided the habanero poop."
Because I felt it a little bit, and I was like, maybe it was just a little, and because for those that don't know about habaneros, you have a 50-50 with the poop.
Yeah.
50-50, you get nothing or it's the worst ever.
And the poops can literally be worse than going down.
Yeah, like it
Like,
literally
it can be
stings
worse.
your asshole when it feels like it's like bleeding.
Like
Yeah.
you want to ice it afterwards.
Yeah.
I haven't experienced the habanero poops because I've only had 2 habaneros in my life. I've just gotten super lucky when we do like habanero bets. I just haven't lost. And then I did one in a video with John like a year ago, and like I had one, and then I had another one after,
Because he lost.
and I threw all of them up, so I didn't have the poops.
Oh,
That's close.
But then you have like the after effect in the
I mean,
throat,
like, it
which
didn't
is
feel
not
good.
nearly as bad.
And it was mostly also because I drank like an entire gallon of chocolate milk along with it because I was
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
like being a pussy. But
So how many over the years, how many habaneros do you think you guys have consumed?
Probably less than you would think.
Here's the thing. Most of
But
the time
still a
when we
good
do
amount.
these habanero bets, it's not me versus Cam where one of us loses. We usually have some other people involved, and for some reason the other people almost always lose.
yeah.
So most of the time they're eating it because I think it's, you got newbies who are competing for
Exactly.
a habanero. We know what to expect, and then they're just nervous because they don't want to eat one and they think it's horrible, or we're playing games that we're better than them at.
That's what's sad is
And
when
so
like
that's why
a
they
new
lose.
person enters the group and like we're all doing this group
Yeah.
game and then the new person loses.
They lose.
And
Every
everyone kind of
time.
like, you feel bad. You don't really want them to have to do it, but it's also
we
kind of
do.
like,
It's
you
like
gotta
not
do
as
it.
funny, but it's like
Yeah.
kind of funny because it's like
I would say what? Probably 15 habaneros.
I'd say 10 to 15 probably.
But
that's way
also-
less than I would have thought.
I've done it. So speaking of you guys' like Habanero podcast, when I was a YouTuber back a couple of years ago, we started filming vlogs and we're like thinking of content ideas. And I had graduated from the University of Washington, but I'm an accountant, so you need a certain amount of credits to take the CPA exam for certified public accountancy. And so I needed to do some summer classes. And my very last final, I did at Bellevue College, it was online classes. I was like, my last final ever. For the rest of my life, I'm like, let's just do something fun. So for the final, how do you make a final fun? Well, first of all, you make a YouTube video out of it. You blast Rebecca Black's Friday in your headphones the entire final, and then every 15 minutes you have to eat a habanero. So it's a timed final.
How many was it?
I think I had 3.
3 in like an hour.
Less than an hour. I think it was like 3 and 30 minutes because I had to start one.
And
Maybe
then
it was
take-
3 and 40 minutes.
Oh,
He was dying. I was
Wait.
on milk duty the whole time.
And
I'm
it
just
was
bringing
like,
him milk.
so a habanero in your throat and mouth lasts for about 10 to 15
Mm-hmm.
minutes. So as soon as you're off the train,
you're just getting
you
another
pop
one.
in another one.
Bro.
And that's why we did the 15 minutes.
Did you puke afterwards or no?
I didn't puke, but I just remembered like you can't focus on the final. It was so unbelievably hard. I'm like reading each question 10 times because I don't know what they're asking me because I'm trying to
You're
like
crying,
down some
your
milk and I can
nose
barely
is-
see through the tears.
What'd you get on it?
I actually got like an 85 or 90.
Wow.
All right,
That's
nerd.
impressive.
Yeah.
Um, so you were just talking about how you guys used to make YouTube videos, and I want to talk about all the like the weird stunts you guys have done, but like one of them in particular, didn't you guys like break or like sneak into Logan Paul's house or
Yeah,
someone
Jake Paul's
yeah,
house.
Jake Paul's house,
yeah.
and you were in his video, but he like didn't know who you were?
yes.
Yeah, basically.
Can you explain
So-
the story?
Okay, so I'll tell the backstory. You tell the story?
Yeah.
Okay, so backstory. Me and Cam wanted to go to LA, but we didn't want to pay for it. So we decided to raise money. We went down we first started with trying to do a lemonade stand, and we made no money. It was
Terrible
an
idea.
absolute flop.
Terrible
So
idea.
we thought we'll go down
Why
to
would
the
I buy lemonade from like 2 grams?
Yeah,
You
it
guys.
didn't work. I don't think
Yeah,
we sold
well,
any.
we didn't think about that ahead of time.
That's fine.
So we were 21, 22 at the time. So then we went to the pier in Seattle, and we held a sign that said, help us prove our moms wrong, because they told us that whatever money we make, they will match it, because they're like, you're not going to make any money. Another sign that said $5 to throw eggs at me, $5 to pie me in the face with whipped cream, and $20 to slap Cam.
Yeah.
Okay, so we were basically street performers, and we had
Isn't that like
Very low budget. Like,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
very entertaining street performance.
isn't that illegal to like set up shop and like
I don't think so.
I think you need a permit. We
Oh,
did not get a
okay.
permit. But we're like, what are they going to do? Just kick us out.
Yeah.
So let's just make it fun while it lasts.
Okay.
Yeah, so we had probably 10-ish people kind of around us the whole time because we were just making a scene. And about halfway through, 30 minutes in, some guy comes up to us. He goes, I think you guys are super funny. Like, here's this. Put it in my pocket. We keep talking to him. Pull out $100. So some random guy gave us $100, and
He
he's
wanted
like, when
you
you
guys.
come to LA, I want to link up with you, take you guys out to dinner. You guys are so funny.
And
So
we know this
wait.
guy's rich. This guy's rich. He
Yeah,
looks
super rich.
filthy.
But that's a
loaded.
little weird though.
Isn't that yeah? Did
I
that
don't
weird
care
you
how
out a
weird it
little
is
bit?
when you're that rich.
Yeah.
If you give me $100, yes, I will have dinner with you.
Yes.
Wait, so did you got? Actually, we'll
So,
hear
okay,
about
so
that later.
we ended up making that day like 180.
That's not
So
good.
only 80 from the rest of the night.
Yeah, but we did it for like 2 hours max.
That's a good
Yeah.
day's work.
Plus
2
the
hours
match.
max.
Plus the match from our parents.
Yeah, so we made $500-ish, and so we're home free. What's the math?
380.
No,
180 plus 180 is
Plus
360.
Well,
180.
sorry, they match up to 100. So we got 180 plus 100 plus
Oh, okay.
100. So,
Oh.
yeah. Sorry, that math. I didn't mean to.
Yeah, come on,
call
you're
out your
accountant.
math. It's like
All right.
it was
So-
380. It was
Okay,
380.
okay.
Okay.
So we raised enough money to go to LA, and your turn, bud.
So, well, we're in LA and we're obviously we went there just more for fun, but we're like kind of a boys trip. Like we're gonna film some stuff and
But okay, wait. Only $380, so probably not enough for a hotel. Or did
We
you get a
had
hotel?
friends. We stayed with friends.
You stay
Yeah.
with friends, and you flew down there.
we flew down there. On
And
the
I can fly for
passes.
free. I think we flew
yeah.
my mom's passes, so we both flew for
Oh,
free. So
yeah.
we just had to pay for everything we were doing.
We
Oh,
so that
okay.
night I think we made 380 with a match. In total, I think we made a little over 500.
Okay.
And so what that paid for, we got free board because he knew the people. We got our airline tickets paid for, and we got Universal paid for.
Clutch.
Yeah.
So we went to Universal
Wow.
too. So we got most of the main stuff of the trip paid for. But yeah, while we're down there, we're like thinking about like doing YouTube videos and stuff like this, and then we get an idea. We're like, let's go meet a celebrity, and we didn't know where any celebrities were, but we Googled where's Jake Paul's house, and for some reason it's like common knowledge.
That's weird.
Which maybe if you're a celebrity, it's because everybody's
For-
like, when you go on the tours, that's Tom Cruise's house.
Oh yeah.
Maybe it was one of those,
Well,
or
and
maybe it was
for
a
like
leak.
the YouTubers, for YouTubers in particular, I feel like they have like crazy super fans who like stalk them and
Yeah.
know their address and
but
everything.
most of
Yeah.
the YouTubers love that. They want the fans at their
I don't know
house.
about the-
Like
I don't know about the
I
house,
thi-
but
so Jake Paul will do stuff with his fans outside.
That's
So like I
Yeah.
think
Okay.
he didn't.
I feel like
find
his
it.
house in particular was kind of public knowledge, just because he was
His
always
old
doing
house.
shit in the street.
Yeah.
and, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and so we had found out his address, and we go there, and at this point we were just like fake celebrities, but it was like very low budget fake
Like
celebrity.
we had
like
a
we got from
fake gold
Ross.
chain on.
Yeah, and so they probably knew that we weren't like legit, but we go there, and then it turns out there's like already a bunch, like maybe 20, 25 fans outside of his house, and so he has his gate, and then his driveway, and then his house, and so all of them were like kind of outside the house, and we were just waiting back, and then but his gate was open, so like, all right, Brian, let's go into the gate and knock on the front door.
And I was not for it.
Yeah,
It's one of the
I'm
one
kinda
of the
pushing
only
Brian at
things
this
I'm like,
point.
I'm not for it, dude. We're
That's
gonna get in trouble.
intimidating.
Wait,
This
so-
was at Jake
And
Paul's
I
heyday.
didn't know
Like, the
I didn't
highest
know
he
who
was
Jake
he
Paul
at.
was at the time. Like I didn't watch his videos. Cam
Yeah.
watched him. Cam knew who he was.
Wait, so
Yeah.
where were the other 20 people?
So he had a fence and then his driveway.
Okay.
And his driveway is like 1 car length.
They were
But
like
they're
on the
outside
sidewalk.
the fence.
They were like on the sidewalk.
so
Yeah,
no one
like the
else was
sidewalk. No
willing
one's
to go up to the door
inside.
like you guys
Yeah.
did.
What are people doing? Just looking at
They're
his
just
house?
like, Jake,
they
come
want him to come outside and say
Bro,
hi.
they're literally like paparazzi.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They're younger people too. They're like kids. And so we're like, whatever, F it. Let's go to his house and we'll knock on his door. For some reason, I thought maybe he would answer the door. That was stupid. He didn't answer the door, but we're knocking. And then Brian's like, dude, let's just go. And I'm like, no, dude, we have to find a way to get in here. And so I don't know if you guys know who Tanner Fox is.
Yeah, he's like this.
He's
like
a YouTuber.
He's
He's
a
probably got
scooter,
like a
he's a
scooter
scooter guy
kid?
who good friends with Jake Paul. He's actually really cool. But all of a sudden we see Tanner Fox pull up. Obviously he's going to Jake's house. And so all the fans run to Tanner's car, and I just look at Brian. I was like, and that's our in.
He goes, follow my lead, and I was like, all right,
Yeah.
let's go, baby.
And I was like, I'll do the talking. Just let's get in. And so we wait while all the kids are talking to Tanner. And then as soon as Tanner gets away from all the kids, I go up to Tanner and be like, yo, Tanner, how's it going? Long time no see. Like, hopefully maybe he's met so many people they wouldn't know that he doesn't know
Oh,
me.
so you just were like bullshitting.
And
like,
I
"Yo,
was
what's
just
up,
like,
bro?"
good, I was like, good to see
Yeah.
you again. He thinks he's met us before.
Yeah, but like very
Oh.
casually.
Yeah.
What did he?
He didn't really say anything. I don't know if he probably knew, or he probably thought that he didn't know who we were.
Yeah.
But I was like, yo, so I don't remember who was living with Jake at the time, but let's just say Chase. I was like, yo, so I was coming to hang out with Chase, but he's not answering his phone, and I don't want to just walk in because I don't know Jake super well. So is it cool if I walk in with you? And then at this point, Tanner's a nice guy, and he's put in such an awkward position because he can't really say no to
Yeah.
that. And so he's like, yeah, fine, just come in with me, which was absolutely perfect because that means
I'm
we
just-
go into Jake's house where Tanner thinks we know Jake and the crew. Jake and the crew just think we know Tanner.
So
There was
you
no
guys
formal-
know
Perfect
No,
situation.
we don't know any. We don't know
we don't know
anybody.
anybody.
but they all think that
We know
the other
someone.
people
Yeah.
know you.
Yes.
And there wasn't like a formal like whatever, and so we're going around. And the clutch thing too is right when Tanner got in, he goes upstairs with Jake. So there's no like who like oh do you know Tanner or whatever? Because I can
Yeah.
just lie and say yeah I know Tanner, and Tanner's not going to say anything because he's upstairs. And so we're in there for about a half an hour, and then Jake comes back down, and at this point he's like, so who do you guys know here? And we knew the gig was up. I'm not going to lie my way out of that one. So I was like, yeah, we don't know anybody. And then he was like, yeah, well, you need to leave. And then I kind of did my spiel, and we stayed another 5 minutes.
No, Cam put
Your
a
spiel.
speech in. He's like, Jake, hold on.
A quick speech.
Think about this. Like, and he literally tried to convince Jake to let us stay by saying, Jake, look, the creepiness factor cannot get any worse. So you might as well let us stay. And he like thought about it for a bit, and then he was like, nah, you guys gotta
Yeah,
go.
because after I pitched my pitch, he left for like 5 minutes, and then he came back. So I
Yeah.
thought, we
So
bought
he-
ourselves another 5 minutes.
So he told you to leave, and then you tried to get him to stay, and then he left, and you guys just didn't leave yet. You were just like, all right, let's
Well,
just
I
see
think
what
he
happens.
went to
he
talk
didn't-
to
he
someone
didn't-
else or
yeah,
something.
he said you should probably leave, and then I gave my speech, and then he didn't really respond, and then he left. So I was like, okay.
Was it more like, did he have the vibe of like, get the fuck out of my house, or
No.
was it
No.
like,
He
hey,
He said
like,
he called us savages.
He was like,
Like,
this
this
is like
is
one of the most
savage.
savage things I've ever seen, but like you guys just can't see what we film in here because it's fake.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
fake
okay.
stuff.
yeah.
So he's like, yeah, I think you guys need to leave. And he's like, I'm not going to press charges or anything. Like, he was really cool about it. And then after he told us to leave, we like hugged everybody and like shook everybody's hand.
Yeah.
And,
You
like,
dapped
he dapped
everybody
us
up.
up.
yeah, we
and
dabbed us
everything.
up. And
Brian's all sweaty. And
yeah.
Oh, super sweaty. No, but so we're inside Jake Paul's house. Jake comes down with a t-shirt launcher, and I don't know, he maybe hit one of us or like shot it near us. And then at one point, Jake is vlogging. I don't even know if you remember this. Cam literally starts giving Jake advice on how to vlog. Like he's like,
Oh, yeah.
dude, he's literally making stuff up. Cam's never vlogged a day in his life, and he's literally telling him like, dude, you should try this, blah blah blah. And Jake's like, oh, dude, thanks, man.
Well,
We're
because
literally
I
just
was,
BSing everything.
So
inside
this
there.
was before the whole conversation.
This
of,
was
like, you guys
before
should
we were
leave.
hanging out with them. We
Yeah.
were watching the NBA
Yeah.
finals with them. Cam took a water bottle from the fridge because Jake's
Which I
like, "You guys
still
want
have.
anything?" I'm in the backyard throwing the football with the guys. Like they
well, because
literally
we were trying to
think
be
we're
as
there
low
to
key
hang
as
out.
possible.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I was actually, for the most of the time, I was talking to Tanner's girlfriend at the time, Taylor Alexia. She's like really
Okay.
famous now. But I was just kind of talking to her about like vlogging and stuff. So then Jake came up, and I was like just talking to Jake about vlogging.
So,
So
you're
we're
just,
like-
you're
you
just
guys
acting
were-
like you're vloggers.
No, they
We're
were
just
they were
acting like
fully
we needed to
convinced
be
we were
there.
supposed to be there.
That
Yeah,
is
we were just blending
so
in.
funny that you guys were just like, you guys are such good bullshitters. Like you can just get out of anything. I feel like.
Weren't you guys in a video too? In one of
We
the
were
did
videos?
it in
we were in like
Tanner's
a
vlog for, like,
yeah,
three-
pan over.
A second and a half.
So there
maybe.
is proof that you were there.
Well,
Yeah,
the next-
people. Is the video still up?
Yep.
Yeah.
Tanner's is yeah.
The
Well,
next.
do you know what it's called so people can go?
Right, it's probably
It's
No,
on
it
his
was like
Facebook. It's on his
years ago.
Facebook if you go back
Okay.
to like summer 2017.
Yeah, I'd have to find it.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't
Well-
go on Cam's Facebook. That's
Well-
weird, guys.
You can go on my Facebook. Add me, guys.
Well, the next day we're at the beach and one of my buddies calls me and he's like, "Dude, no way." I was like, "What do you mean no way? You were literally hanging out with Jake Paul. I saw in Tanner's vlog." And we're like, "Bro, we made it in Tanner's vlog."
Yeah,
Because
because we were
hoping
watching
we'd
the
make it
whole
into
time.
one of their
Like, we were
vlogs.
waiting for Jake to upload because he was doing daily uploads. We were like, we were just expecting a video. 2 creepy guys break into my house.
Yeah.
But he didn't.
But he didn't because I mean it would probably like lead to a lot
More
of other
people trying to
wanting
sneak
yeah.
in.
It also probably happens quite often. I would
Yeah.
think. Not like
I've
quite
been
often,
on
but
someone's
like
You guys are
more
probably
than
the
you
most
They
think.
probably
successful.
just like sneak in the window. Like
No,
people
because
do
we,
it, like
we had actually asked him. I was like, because I asked him after he told us to get out. He was like, I feel like you have to have had this before. He was like, no, we've had like a fan come in before a couple times, but they were like being fans, so we just kicked him out right away.
And no one.
But you guys just came in and were like acted
Blended
like
in.
you needed to be here, so we just assumed you were with Tanner.
That's
so
how you
nobody's
get
ever
success.
stayed. Nobody's ever stayed for like more than a minute.
Hey, fake it till you make it.
If you just pretend to be successful, you'll just
Bro,
be successful.
imagine if like they never connected it and you were there like the whole day, and then imagine if like you came back the next day.
Yeah.
And eventually
We
you're
became
just
part of
boys
the
with them.
crew.
See, that would be
A
hilarious.
year down the road, Jake's like, somebody's like, Jake, how'd you meet him? I'm like, yeah, you know, they came in with Tanner. They're good friends with Tanner, and
Tanner's
like,
wait,
they-
I thought you knew him.
But we're already close enough to where it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they don't
Yeah.
realize, dude, that would have been so funny.
yeah, but Jake figured it out.
Wow.
fine.
So another one that I just have written down that stands out in my mind, Brian, didn't you? So you graduated college.
From Wazoo.
From Wazoo.
Go
But
Cougs,
then
baby.
didn't you sneak into the UW graduation?
Yes. So here's the story. So I graduated a month before UW graduation.
Yeah.
And I think Cam mentioned to me, dude, my brother's not going to walk. We have an extra cap and gown. Is that how it went down?
Yeah, I think so.
And I was like, what if I vlog and try to sneak in? So I got his brother's cap and gown because his brother doesn't want to walk. I had to memorize his brother's student ID number and that's all I had. So we show up to UW Stadium, whatever it's called, Husky Stadium.
Yeah.
And so we show up to UW Stadium. I had to memorize all this stuff. We're waiting in this massive line, and everyone's walking in. And I'm like, dude, they're checking ID. There's no way they're going to let me in. So I went to a spot where you could go to get a number if you didn't have your ID on you. So I memorized his student ID number, gave it to him. They gave me this little piece of paper, and that's all I needed to get in. We ended up getting in. I sat through whole graduation, walked across stage, shook hands with the president, and he's like, congratulations, this must have been a lot of hard work. And I'm like, you have no idea, sir. And
you
so
literally walked.
I
and
literally
you
walked
got,
in
like,
UW graduation, got the degree. There's not a degree in there.
Yeah.
Gave it to his brother, and it was a absolute blast. I wanted to pull out a Wazoo flag and wave it around on stage,
That would
That
have been
would've
so
but
funny.
that would have got me in trouble. So I
And,
didn't want to.
and
Yeah.
it was for the it was the whole like class of 2018, but he was part of the Foster graduating class.
the
School of
business school.
Business.
Yeah, so he had like the School of Business tassel
Yeah.
and was walking with all the Foster people. And we're like, it's not huge, so everybody kind of knows,
Yeah.
but nobody obviously.
No one cares.
I think one person
Well,
recognized
so
you.
when we're waiting in
Brian
line,
Moss.
I had like 4 of my Skyline friends who I hadn't seen in 5 years, who I used to play baseball with. They come up to me. They're like, dude, I thought you just graduated from Wazoo. I was like, yeah, this is all fake. I'm sneaking in. And they're like, no way. I was like, yeah, wish me luck, boys.
That's so funny. So theoretically, if anyone knows someone who's not gonna walk and they can go find a purple cap and gown, anyone could do what you did.
You could pull it off. UW's was harder. So at my graduation, I thought about this because I was like, if I had Cam here, he could literally walk in because they didn't check ID. They didn't do anything.
Oh, wow.
You just got in line and you walked. So there was no order, no nothing. I don't even know how it worked.
That's funny.
And I was like, Cam, that would have been hilarious if you walked. And so that's kind of where the idea came from.
And kind of a caveat off of the Jake Paul story is, I mean, you guys probably know this too. You can get in and pretty much do whatever you want with confidence.
See,
Yes.
that's what like
Yes.
I'm like I get so nervous and antsy that I
Just
like
the
I
sweat
don't have the
comes out.
charisma.
Well, no,
I
because
feel
my
that.
brother and I, my oldest brother Chris, we were thinking like, dude, we should try and sneak into a Seahawks game.
How would you do that?
that would be hard.
There's-
But I think you could do
And
it.
and they have like pretty heavy security, so we're like, there has to be a way to get in there. And so we ended up actually getting tickets to the NFC Championship game against the Packers. But while we were there, we were like scheming. We were like, how could we have done this without tickets? And so we're like looking at different things, and we saw this gate that was fairly unprotected. There was somebody that was like 30 feet away, and it was directly into the stadium. So we had actually snuck through the gate just to see if it was possible.
Oh, so you went out to check if you could figure out.
No,
how to
we
get
were
back
already
in.
we were already out, so we hadn't gone in yet.
Oh.
But we had the tickets just in case.
Oh, okay.
But we were like, you could sneak through this, so we tried it, and we totally could have. I mean, we've had to have, like stood somewhere inside the stadium because we
Yeah.
have seats.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's totally possible.
Dang. Yeah, there's this guy. I think his like name or that he goes by Andrew Pro, I think, but he's this YouTuber and like Instagram guy, and his whole channel is based off of like doing illegal things and like sneaking into things, like just with confidence and like
Yeah.
making videos out of them.
Is it the Klay Thompson guy? The guy that dressed like Klay Thompson?
That's Big Doss TV.
No, that's a
Oh.
He
different
actually
guy.
texted me. That's the story.
What?
for
No,
another
he
day.
didn't.
Yeah, he did. I saw his phone number.
But this guy, he snuck into the Super Bowl 2 years ago, and that video went mega viral because
Yeah.
like, how could you do that? Then he snuck into
UFC. He did a UFC
yeah,
thing.
I think he snuck into the UFC. He snuck into Coachella,
Yeah.
and it's all these videos of like him showing exactly how he can get around the security.
Yeah.
What does he
And-
do? Just like
Dude, he does research. Like he figures out where people are, and then he's really good at bullshitting and like, and he films it all. And then he also has done one where like I think he snuck into a Hollywood premiere of a movie on like the red carpet.
Yes Theory did that too.
Yeah,
I'm sure
yeah,
you guys know who Yes
yeah,
Theory
yeah,
is.
yeah.
It's crazy.
All right, so I want to move on here because there's more stories I want to get to, and I don't want this episode to be like 2 hours long.
Why not?
Because I'm gonna have to edit it.
Okay, so there's a few more stories I want to talk about, but first, tell us about the Bellevue College one.
Okay, so me and Cam are hanging out, and we just wanted to do something fun. So one of us had this idea of, let's go sneak into a Bellevue College class. We'll write down challenges, and the other person has to complete the challenges in the classroom. So we walked into a sociology class.
Neither of you guys were enrolled in this class.
No.
Just showed up.
And it's a small class. It's like
It was
20
people.
so everyone knows each other.
So
yeah,
we're sitting
everybody
in the back.
knows like who are these people?
Yeah, so
like
we're
halfway
sitting
through
in the
the
back,
quarter.
and we have challenges written down. One of them was he had to FaceTime one of our friends at full volume in the middle of class, and she was ready to talk. She had to talk loud. Another one was I had to go take notes on the whiteboard behind the teacher. And
While
then,
they were teaching.
and then my favorite one was Cam had to raise his hand and tell the teacher he's wrong and explain why. And we know nothing. So it starts off, my challenge was go take notes on the whiteboard. So I'm like, oh, crap. All right. So teacher's writing, talking, whatever. I get up. I walk behind him. I grab one of the pens, and I start writing some BS.
Does he notice?
And he notices.
notices.
He goes, what are you doing? And I said, oh, I'm sorry. I thought the whole class would have wanted to see this. I also don't have any notes, so I just wanted to write it up there for everyone. And he's like, oh, okay. Like, he wasn't upset.
He was a
kinda
little
cool.
upset. He was like,
I
yeah,
think he
you
was
need
more
to like bring your
confused.
own notebook next time. That's what he told you.
Okay, that's what he told me. I don't remember.
He was a little
So
upset.
you were kind of like taking notes of what the teacher was saying.
Of what the teacher was saying,
Yeah.
but for the whole class. Like, I was
Oh, so
listening to what he
you're-
was saying. I was kind of just
Okay.
writing
That's
some
some
stuff.
outside the box
also,
thinking.
it was in Brian Mogg font.
Yeah.
And it's
And it was
horrible.
small.
It's like
so
a first
definitely
grader.
not legible.
Not readable. No.
okay. That's fine.
So then the next challenge is he has to FaceTime our friend Hannah. So he FaceTimes Hannah. It is ringing and it's loud. The whole class hears it. Basically, I think the teacher kind of stopped and Cam just talks at full volume. Hey, Hannah, how you doing?
Yeah.
And Hannah's like saying stuff back and Cam's just like full loud. The teacher just turns around and looks at him like, what is wrong with you guys?
He wasn't that. He wasn't. He was a cool professor.
He was just
I will
kinda-
say he's very cool.
I think his reaction was like, hey, like, can you not do that
Yeah.
here? It wasn't like, get out of my classroom right now. It was kind of just like, what are you doing? Can you not do that?
If you had to try and recall, how long do you think you talked on FaceTime before like the teacher
A minute?
said anything?
Yeah, I mean, I think the whole conversation was only maybe a minute and a half.
Maybe
He
a
probably,
minute.
Still
he
pretty
probably
long.
But a
said
minute is
something in
long.
a minute.
A minute is long.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, yeah, it wasn't horrible. He was just like, please don't do that.
Yeah. So then after this, I mean, everyone, including him, has to know that you guys aren't even in that class, right?
Well,
No, we
They
had
s-
told him. He was like, "Do you guys are you guys enrolled in the class?" And we said, "Yeah, we were enrolled in the class. However, we didn't show up because we were like, I don't know."
We said the
athletes." I think
tests
we
are-
told them we were athletes.
and we said the tests are super easy, so we just do them online. And I think he was like,
we
tests
just
aren't
we told him
online.
we just come in
And
for
we're
the
like,
tests.
yeah, they are. Like, we're like, we take them. We told him his class was easy.
No, we
Oh.
told him we don't come to the classes. We just come for the tests.
Gotcha.
And
Oh,
he,
that's what we
he
said.
just kind of believed us, but realistically, he believed us in front of the class.
He-
but I'm sure he probably
he
didn't
had to
really
have been
believe
so confused.
Probably just
Yeah.
didn't care.
Oh, he
so,
was.
whatever.
But the best part of the story is when Cam tries to convince the teacher that he's wrong, and Cam did it.
And
He literally did it on a
No.
topic that he didn't know.
the funniest part was we were talking about socioeconomics, and not only did I have to tell the professor he was wrong, but I also had to work in bipolar magnetic reversal theory.
yes.
wait, what?
Yes.
So I'm pretty sure Brian made that up. I don't think that's a real thing.
Yeah.
Bipolar
No,
magnetic.
it's
Bipolar
from
magnetic
Impractical
reversal
Jokers.
theory.
It's from
Okay.
Impractical Jokers. I texted Cam. I said, tell him he's wrong and why, and use the word bipolar magnetic reversal theory.
And I wish I had it on tape. I think that was
So
probably my
funny.
best BSing of all time. Because in my mind, at least, maybe I didn't actually, but in my mind, I thought it was like fairly well tied into what he was talking about. And he like didn't really question it that much. He was like, yeah, I think that I just need to look into that.
He's like, I'm gonna go look it up and do some research on
Yeah.
it. Like,
Google's it later that night. He's like,
What?
But I was like, yeah, essentially it's this theory where in socioeconomics, if people have less, then there will be, and I went into it and it was like, I don't know, 30, 45 seconds. But
That's hilarious, dude.
yeah, he eventually kicked us out.
and then
Oh, he did kick you out?
So he kind of
I
realized.
think he asked us to leave.
He realized we didn't go. We weren't in the class, and he's like, "Can you guys leave?" And we're like, "Oh, I said only if you give us B's in the class." I was like, "Give us B's and we'll leave." And he's like, "Okay, fine." Like, knew we were joking.
He was definitely never really mad though. Except I feel like he was kind of mad with your notes thing.
Yeah.
But after that, he wasn't really mad about any of it.
as we were
so
walking
funny.
out, he was saying, guys, let this be a good social experiment, like how people work and
he was
whatever.
laughing.
He was like, we can learn from this.
Oh, because
And we're
it's
like,
a
peace out, everybody.
social
We're out of here.
We lucked out the class that we went in. We had no idea what class it was.
I mean,
We just had to figure it out.
probably it gets boring being a professor, and like when you have stuff like that, it makes things like
Yeah.
entertaining. As
Do
long
you-
as you're not like terrible.
Do you guys get butterflies in your stomach when you do things? Because all of these stories you've told, I would like want to puke, but you guys do these just all the time.
So you do.
I do, yeah,
You
100%.
do-
But that's the fun part. That's what makes it literally fun.
Yeah, I think the best example of what you need to do in that situation, though, is the time that I told a Wazoo auditorium class, it was like
Oh, this
400
is
people, that I was
classic.
dropping out. And I think I just lost odds, and he was like, you need to announce to everybody they're dropping out. And I didn't even think about it, I just did it.
Wait, so this was at
So
Washington
Wazoo.
State.
So
yeah.
where was it? It wasn't odds. It was I was with my teammate and we're in the class. We're not even in this class. Cam doesn't even go there. And I was like, Cam, what are the odds? I think it was odds.
It was
actually.
odds.
I was like, what are the odds? You stand up in front of the entire class and basically yell, I'm dropping out. This is too hard. And he's
had
like,
I
okay.
Had I waited, I think I would have been too nervous to do it.
Yeah.
But I didn't give myself time to, because I knew that was going to be crappy.
Oh,
So I didn't give myself time to think, and I just said, screw it, let's do it. Just like when you're standing over like a cliff that you
You
want
just
to jump in,
I
it's like
think
30 feet.
that's actually a good thing to learn about life. Not just like these goofy stunts, but I think that actually relates to like in life. I've realized if there's anything that I'm like feel like I'm getting anxiety about or I'm worried about doing, if you just like as soon as you feel that, you just say screw it, I'm gonna like go in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
You get past the point of no return to where you can no longer do it.
Yeah, yeah,
Because you're too nervous.
yeah. So what? So you stood up and just started like yelling?
I mean, yeah, I definitely, I wouldn't say I yelled, but I
It
definitely
was loud
projected
enough
my
for
voice.
400 people to hear.
And I didn't know, but there's people that I knew in the class, and I had got a snap from her after. She was like, "What did I just witness?" And I think it was like some insect class.
He was famous in the athlete community at Wazoo after this because there was like 5 athletes in the class. And afterwards, they all came up to me. They're like, your buddy's the funniest person ever. Like, oh my gosh, this dude's a legend for doing what he did.
I think because of Brian, I potentially had more friends. I definitely have more friends at Washington State than I do UW.
Do you guys does anything stand out in your mind of the most awkward moment of your life?
I can't think of like
You
any.
can't think of any?
There's just like a bunch. I don't think there's like one that sticks out the most.
Okay.
I mean, like back when we were single, this was a classic move. We'd go to the Ram in Sammamish, and whenever the waiter would come up, I'd be like, hey, Cam, is this the girl you thought's cute? And like we would just do stuff like that all the time, so you're just used to it. You
Yeah,
can't
the
think
ones
of
where
number
you don't
one
have
thing.
the control over, I think are the most awkward.
Because you can't just be like, dude, shut up, or like, no, I don't think she's cute. You can't do that. You kind of just like, oh my gosh, you just gotta wear it.
Yeah. All right. Okay. One more story I want you guys to tell for the people listening before we hop into the segments here is when you guys had to do like your comedy routine or something.
They didn't have to
Comedy
do-
skit.
Yeah.
It was part of one of the most famous things we do is the Olympics,
Yes.
which now, if you guys are on TikTok, is kind of famous. You like
Documented.
it's a bunch of different challenges worth points.
Like dumb challenges, like
Yeah.
golf ball roll downstairs in the cup.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like one of our favorite things to do.
And
Every
you
time
guys
we
do
get
it,
the boys together.
You guys do it like all the time.
Yeah, every
When
time
we
we
got
get the boys together,
all the time.
we set up an Olympics, like 10 challenges, and
There's a
something online.
punishment for whoever gets last. The point system, whoever gets last has the worst punishment. And on this specific time, we decided the loser, it was teams. It was me and Cam
Yeah,
versus
ours
2
was our
other
first
guys.
team
So
Olympics.
2 people are going to lose. The losers have to perform stand-up comedy at an open mic, and the winners write the script. So we could literally have them say anything we wanted them to say.
Dude, it was one of the most awkward. I went to it, and it was one of the most awkward things I've
But
ever
I
witnessed
It's on
in
my
life.
Instagram if you want to watch it.
The,
It's on my
the
Instagram.
way we did it, because I was thinking, it's a smaller open mic, and obviously
We
they
probably
could
had 35 people there because we had a bunch of friends at the
Yeah,
time.
they could probably tell when people are joking. So I'm like, I don't want if they know that people are joking right off the bat, they're just gonna like laugh as if it's a joke.
Mhm.
And so we're like, no, we need to start it off as if it's like a real comedy skit. So people in people's minds are like, oh, these guys are just bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it increases the awkwardness level. And then as the show goes on, we can further go into like
Just make
definitely
it
just
more and more
horrible.
awkward.
Yeah.
So wait. So did they have to memorize it or
No, we literally gave them a script, but they couldn't see it until they got their names announced to go on stage. And so it was like a word for word script, but there were a few segments where it said, Addison, make a 45-second joke about Barack Obama and Donald Trump if they were on a fly fishing trip. So he gets that part of the script, and on stage he has to BS make up a joke about that, and it was just like absolute meltdown on stage.
Yeah, they have a phone.
on
They had said that they were really nervous and it was their first time.
That
so
makes
they
it
wanted to have
even worse.
They had to. Yeah, they had to have their notes open.
So, wait. So, who performed on stage?
Addison McIrvin and Aaron Williams.
Oh, so so you guys didn't have to do it.
They just filmed
No,
it.
we just watched the whole thing.
Yeah,
you guys
we're
should.
not losers.
You guys should do like a this year or whenever you do the Olympics again. You should make that the same stakes, and
Yeah, no. for
hopefully
sure.
you guys can
I
lose.
definitely want to.
I have this idea that I want to do at the open mic where you get like 5 people who are in on it. You guys are welcome if you're willing. And
The more
everyone
the
signs
merrier.
up to go on stage and perform. And right when they announce your name, you spin a wheel and it's what you have to do. So like it's like stand-up comedy. So on the spot, you have to
Spoken
make
word.
up stand-up comedy, spoken word, freestyle rap. There's a piano on stage. Play the piano.
Dude.
Or like
Oh, that'd be
stand there
so
for 5
bad.
minutes and not say a word and act super nervous. So like you're going to botch no matter what.
Yeah.
I would prefer
And-
to not say a word for 5 minutes.
That's way more awkward.
That would be
I don't
spoken
know.
word, dude. I think
brutal.
spoken word.
Oh,
That's the
I could
easiest
do
one.
that.
You can get so like almost intellectual that
Yeah.
people won't really be able to know if it's real or not.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So you can,
spoken
I
word
think,
you
really
could get away
The
escape
from.
freestyling and the
Freestyle would be
piano would
rough.
be really bad.
Yeah, piano would suck.
That's why I think it would be so funny to just they're equally bad and everyone just has to spin it and you got to go and how good are you at free balling something?
Dude, that comedy thing that was one of the hardest times I've ever laughed in my life.
That
Just
was-
watching, I was just like I was sweating because I was like nervous for them, but it was
Yeah.
just and I was just sweating anyways. But like, dude, that was one of the most awkward things I've ever witnessed.
I
And it was just it was all of us were laughing and everyone else was just dead silent.
No, there was people that like joined in though. Once they kind of
they kind of figured it out. Yeah.
They figured it out and they're like, okay, this is good.
But there was one point where he was like, on the script it said, ask someone to like raise their hand and ask for
someone
advice.
for a joke
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
crowd, and then when they raise their hand and say the topic or whatever, he had to say that's stupid.
Yeah.
So Addison's like, can I get a topic from the crowd? Someone raises their hand,
like,
blurts something
the
out, and
worst-
Addison in the nicest way goes, that's stupid, and he goes,
The worst part is the only person that gave a topic was like a 10-year-old girl.
Oh.
So we were hoping like
Yeah.
a 35-year-old dude, you can totally sit, but 10-year-old girl is a little
and he
hard.
just was just like, that's stupid.
Oh my gosh. See, Kyle and I have talked about before, like a dream of ours is eventually to get the podcast to a point where like we could do like a live podcast tour.
Yeah.
Ooh, that would
Um,
be fun.
That'd be super
But-
fun.
Like I've said this on the show before, but like I consider our show a comedy show. Like that's the category it's under. But like I have absolutely no desire to ever consider myself where I have to perform like a comedian.
Like scripted comedy kind
Like
of thing.
I would hate to have to get on stage and have to try to make people laugh.
Yeah.
I'd rather like that's why I like this podcast because it can be serious or it can make people laugh. But it's like I'm not setting out to make you laugh.
Yeah.
So
And
then
it's not
if people-
funny, it's not silent in the crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've tried to do stand-up comedy. Cam could do it and pull it off in front of people. I tried to do it another time at Luther's Table, this open mic place, and my joke did not land. And
it was
I
the
literally,
furthest thing from
and I
landing.
literally would just stood there and I was like, I'm gonna kill myself.
It was imagine you're in a plane and they're like, okay, land at your next airport, and you just take a U-turn and try and fly to the moon.
Oh.
That's how far away
Remember,
he
remember what the
was.
joke was?
It's like a long story
was a
about a
long-
first date gone bad, basically.
Oh.
And there's like a kicker at the end, and people didn't understand the kicker. I think
Kicker
they
didn't
thought it
kick.
was like an inappropriate joke, even though I didn't think it was that bad. And it was supposed to lead into Cam's next song. He was performing a song. So I tell my joke, nobody laughs. And I'm like, okay, Cam, time to perform your song.
Well, the problem is that the joke itself is like a minute and a half long joke. And so you think about it, a minute and a half long joke, either you need a lot of punchlines built in within, or that last thing's got to be the biggest firework of all time.
Yeah.
The problem is it's a minute and a half long joke where the punchline isn't even really considered good for a 3-second joke.
So
So you have
just
all
lost
this
them.
build up with nothing.
Dude,
Yeah.
just absolute flop. There's nothing worse than you trying to make people laugh,
Oh.
and they just look at you, and you're like, I don't know what to do.
And he had pitched it to us the day of, saying, I'm going to do this. And every single person said, don't do that. That's not funny.
But
It's
it
not
was the
gonna
only
land."
thing I could come up with that was semi-funny and led on to his next song.
Nobody thought it was funny.
Yeah, man. I mean, I've heard, like, I listen to a lot of Joe Rogan, and he always has different comedians on, and they all say, like, there is no worse feeling, like, in the world, really, than flopping or a comic flopping.
But it happens
on
to
stage.
everybody though. Like every comedian flops. So
Yeah.
you still have a chance.
I don't know. I don't know if I can make it over
I
that.
feel like
hump.
flopping on your
I
first
can battle back
performance
from a
is
lot
like-
of things,
like
but not that
for
way.
one.
Yeah, it's tough. Segments.
Well, yeah, it's getting a little later here, and we gotta wrap this up in the next like 15 minutes or so. So we're gonna have to have you guys back on the show because you guys
Yeah.
have
I'm
just
down.
infinite stories
Let's
that.
go, baby.
that we
We
gotta
made the cut, baby.
Yeah, man.
Round
And
2.
I don't know, guys. All of you listening, let us know what you thought of this. This is like definitely different. We've never done a 4-person episode before, so we knew that this was gonna be like. I was worried that it would just be too many voices, you know, like overpowering and like too chaotic, but this was a lot of fun. It's gone really well. So, guys, if you want to see more 4-person episodes, let us know. Before we hop into the segments, I just want to say, please leave a review on the Apple Podcast app if you haven't already. Also, check out our YouTube version of the show if you're on like Spotify or Apple Podcasts, because we spend a lot of time editing the video versions and they're a lot of fun. So,
If you leave a review, me and Cam will follow you on TikTok.
oh,
I got brought into that one.
Incentive.
Cam's like, I'm not doing that. Oh, by the way, another thing I want to shout out real quick. We have a second podcast called Not a Sheep. We launched it 2 weeks ago. I just want to remind you guys every episode that it's a music podcast that I co-host with Matt, who's
Matty Mogg.
Brian's younger
Matty
brother.
Mogg.
And we just posted an episode with Casman, who is a singer that was on American Idol, and she's really talented and it's really cool. So check it out.
All right. So basically, if you guys don't know, how we do this segment is we start Googling like part of a sentence, and then whatever shows up, like usually like weird stuff pops up on Google. If you go like, why does my
Yeah.
weird stuff
so
pops up.
I've seen like on the YouTube where
Yeah.
peel off the paper.
Yeah, so it's
that kind of
called
idea.
like, it's why'd you Google that? So we just try and find interesting or weird things on Google that like the autofill and just see what they're all, just learn some cool things.
Cool.
So for fans of the show, they know my voice cracks a lot. So when I Googled why does my and then voice crack popped up, this wasn't something that like, you know, it was funny and I had to search it. This was just informative.
This was personal.
It was very personal. I needed to know. So the reason why adults voice cracks result of vocal cord strain, either from constant yelling or from illness. So I might have the coronavirus, or because of being nervous.
Oh, he's nervous all the
So
time.
I think the
Plays
problem
into the pit
is
stains.
So I think the problem is it's the sweat, and I get nervous about my sweat, and then John's presence usually just makes my voice crack.
Well-
So I haven't had any cracks today, so I'm pretty comfortable.
Yeah.
Oh.
I will say that actually makes sense because I spend more time with you than like anyone, and that's your voice doesn't crack as much when we're not recording.
But also, like it said, from strain, 'cause it's like I'm talking a bunch, and if I
Sure,
don't have
but
water,
I
then,
talk as much as you do, and I don't.
Well.
No, but like I don't think your voice cracks 90% of the time when we're recording. So maybe it's a
That's true.
nervousness thing.
I think I'm just nervous.
I think you're just
not
always
used to the
nervous.
mic.
I haven't got over my stage fright. I'm not
Do
even on
girls
stage.
call you voice crack?
They don't talk to me. They don't call me anything.
I don't blame him, frankly. With that voice cracking,
Cool. Well, for mine, I typed in "our ants," and then
Ants like
ants like the
bug.
animal, and then I typed in
Animal, I
"a,"
think
and I
that's
saw and then I found "are ants afraid of anteaters?"
they must be.
Now
anteaters don't actually eat ants, do they?
Whoa. They have to.
actually do. They eat 30,000 ants a day.
Ooh.
And what's even crazier is that they sleep for 16 hours a day. So in their 8 waking hours,
They're just
anteaters
pouncing on
eat
them.
30,000 ants.
Does it say the size of the? Because everybody knows there's different sizes of ants. Could they?
Let's
Are they
see.
bigger
They
ones?
only go for the small ones.
Could they create a colony and fight back?
Yeah, I wonder
They
what that
could.
fight looks like.
Dude, I don't think it's a fight. I think it's just like they're donezo.
Dude, I think if there's like a billion ants, I don't know how many a billion ants is, maybe a million
Probably
ants.
a lot.
Okay, 100,000 ants on top of an anteater, the ants win.
I don't know, dude.
Yes.
Because ants can
Well,
like
yes.
It
Can't
depends.
look-
How
yes.
small
Pick
are
up a
the
car.
ants? If the ants are so
100%.
small, there's literally nothing they can do. They can't bite them because their little clenchers won't be able to get over the skin.
That's
Yeah.
true. But you can like crawl into their eyes and,
and
like,
the
crawl into their
anteater's just
insides
gonna
and-
roll around and kill them
suffocate.
all.
Yeah, you could do like a
Ugh.
barrel roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's
Ugh.
smart enough.
That's true.
It's an anteater.
It says giant anteaters consume 30,000 ants every single day. They use their long tongues, which are coated with sticky saliva, and slurp up hundreds of ants per minute. That is
how
crazy.
big are anteaters? I can't even.
I feel
They're like a raccoon.
No.
like a dog.
They're
Yeah.
pretty
like
big.
A medium-sized dog.
A dog.
Small to
The
medium-sized dog.
broadest range of sizes.
Exactly.
It's a medium-sized
Great Dane to
dog.
Chihuahua.
I think
somewhere
it's
in
like
there.
a coyote, or like
like a coyote size. Like
yeah.
you know.
So I don't know. I just thought that was kind of interesting. Now, and that didn't really answer my question of if ants are afraid of them, but I would assume that.
I would assume that ants probably don't have the mental capacity to be afraid.
I
That's
think
true.
I
An
think
ant.
they just don't think. They just do.
Yeah.
They're not like us. They can't just think about like, what do you think? Do ants have anxiety? Like,
I
are
don't
you
know.
telling
I've
me
seen
their
bugs
ants
like-
are getting anxiety from anteaters?
But
They're just like,
How nice would that be, though, to be like a being where you don't have like consciousness like that?
What if
Where
That'd
you
be
don't
horrible.
You wouldn't even know because you
That'd
don't
be
even
so
really
couldn't
horrible.
experience any
but
feelings.
then you don't have any fear or any pain.
You have no
You don't have
happiness
anything.
either.
I just
You have a lot of nothing.
Okay,
you just
wait,
do.
wait.
You just do. Yeah.
Question. Kyle and I have had debates about this for a while. If
Love
you could
debates.
just, in like the snap of your fingers, if you could just become a dog, you lose all your thoughts of your human life, you lose all your personal connection. You are just a dog that's like part of a family, and you have like a dog's brain and a dog's life. Would you want that?
For the rest of your life?
Yeah.
How is that a debate?
No.
Why would anybody want to do that?
I
Do you
would.
want
I
to
feel
do
like
that?
it's basically
wants
like
to-
dying.
you
It's like
want to do
you
that.
don't think anymore.
Exactly.
Okay, but like the reasoning is because I
I
don't
that
want
really
to
backfired
die.
on him.
No, the reasoning is because I've tried to express this. Dogs,
Well, if you're a dog, you can't
all
express
they
it.
experience is love. Like
No,
unless
no
they're
way.
okay,
Not some of them. Some
Okay.
of them get
so much
abused.
depression.
okay, if
That
if
too.
they get abused, that's different. But I'm saying if you're in like a loving family, being a dog has no downside in my mind.
Yes.
Okay,
when
well,
you
I
leave,
think your minds are wrong.
when you
because
leave,
I
they're
think
depressed.
you think that a dog is just when their owner's gone for like 4 or 5 hours.
exactly.
They're
Jo-
still happy.
Did you
Judging
just go to
on
bed?
What?
They're depressed.
Did you just go to bed one night and dream about being a dog, and then you woke up, you're like, I think I want to be a dog. Like, that sounds great.
Sorta.
I feel like the amount of time you've probably thought about this, you should have also put equally amount of time into researching dogs' emotions, because I think your mindset's slightly flawed.
Okay, but think about how much like pain there is in of being a human. Just inevitably, you're gonna experience so much pain and
Yeah.
struggle. Whereas if you're a dog, you don't have to worry about being in debt. You don't have to have a job. You don't have to worry about like people like hurting you or like emotionally sabotaging you.
You kind of
You
do.
just
Kinda do.
You just get to be a dog and just get pet and get food.
Yeah,
and-
you get
Yeah, but
pet
you're
like
not
what,
supposed to be
literally
pet.
1% of your life, and then
And
have
you're-
to sleep 99% of your life.
And you can't eat what you want. You just look
Okay,
up at them,
yeah.
watching them eat
Guys,
their food.
you're
and
missing
like,
the point. The
And you
point
always are hungry. You
no,
are always hungry.
There's always
but
room
a
for
dog
more.
doesn't they don't have the same level of consciousness. They don't get bored. They don't like
According to
okay,
where?
there's been studies.
Give me your sites.
There's been studies. I don't have them on hand, but there's been studies about like animals' consciousness versus humans and animals.
Dogs specifically, because dogs are smarter than the average animal.
Okay, I don't know, but like I don't think dogs feel that like sense of like. I don't think that their sense of time is the same or their sense of like
Oh,
emotion
absolutely
is the
not.
same.
Yeah. Well, would you rather be a human or a goldfish? Let's take your argument to the extreme. Because the goldfish
There's nothing.
experiences far
Absolutely
less
nothing.
far less
Goldfish-
negative emotions, I would assume.
you know
than
they
dogs.
also have their memory lasts for 1 second.
Goldfish or dogs?
I
They're
thought
gold-
that was
they're me-
debunked. They would put goldfish through like
Rigorous testing.
not like testing, but like through mazes.
Experiments.
And they'd be able to figure out the maze.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe they have like a built-in long term, like 50 First Dates or whatever. She can remember the long
seen that.
term,
Adam
and
Sandler.
maybe over the course of time, but like she can't remember yesterday. Maybe it's like
Gotcha.
that. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Well,
We've Doven.
Divin. Yeah. Well, all right. I guess I'm an idiot for wanting to be a dog.
Yeah.
But
It's fine.
Over 3.
all right.
I was a little harsh on you there, though.
Last segment here. We're gonna answer a couple fan questions real quick, and then we're gonna end the show. So, Kyle, what's the first fan question today, and who's it by?
This comes from Liam.McClellan.
Shout out Liam.
Shout out Liam. Would you stay in solitary confinement for
Sorry. Re-say it.
Would you stay in solitary confinement for 2 years for $10 million? I
Yes.
don't think I would do a year for $10 million. So that's.
I don't think I could mentally withstand that long. I think I'd literally I would lose it.
I don't think I could do it.
But people
if,
do it.
If you could keep it together, it would be worth it. If you could
Well,
keep
yeah.
your mind together through the whole thing, it would be worth it.
Yes,
would-
financially it'd be worth it, but I think in every other sense it wouldn't be.
Yeah,
So is there? I mean, obviously he didn't ask this, but can we build in? Is there a back out clause? Like, can I say yes and then a week in, like I can't do this back
I would
out?
assume, yeah.
Sure.
You just don't get the
Then
money.
you just-
Okay, then
it's
I'd
not-
try it.
Yeah, it's not prorated.
I would try it. I don't know if I'd be able to do it or not. I would say I think I could probably do it.
Yeah.
I think I would
years,
ask
though?
someone
I like
first
money
who's
too
been
much
in
to
solitary
not be able to do
confinement.
that, I think.
What are you gonna do all day? You're just in this blank room, let's say.
Dude,
What do you do?
2 years is a
2 whole
long
years.
You
time.
just get jacked.
Just
you just get jacked,
do so many
and you
push-ups.
just make your mental so strong.
Actually,
Dialed.
I would learn how to like meditate and try and get like really good at just like
Not thinking.
yeah, like
You
be
couldn't
good
think.
at not thinking and time just goes by
just
fast.
hibernate.
You could not
Yeah.
think and be in there. If you were thinking the whole time, just stuck in your head, you would
That's
literally probably kill yourself.
I'd try and
Yeah.
become the best quarterback of all time at that time.
just
Doing drills all day.
With no football.
Yeah, you get nothing. You just dropping back. With
Once I
nothing.
get the football in my hands, it's over.
Yeah. Kyle, what about you? Would you do it?
No, I said I wouldn't
No.
do it. I could not do it.
Okay. All right. This one is from Jimmy Brintsfield, and he says,
Jimmy,
"Would you
Jimmy.
rather live in the tropical rainforest, Antarctica, or the desert?"
Who would pick
Rainforest,
Antarctica?
Antarctica or the desert.
Live like
Well,
in a
the
house?
rainforest and the desert, you're probably gonna die
Are we saying
quicker
so you're
than you
stuck
would.
with like nothing
Wait,
but the
wait.
terrain.
Are we saying survive
Oh.
or like this is my home?
Oh yeah. Okay. Let's say you get like a nice like fort.
Tent.
Like a nice 3-bedroom, 2,200 square feet with AC.
Yeah.
I'll take the rainforest.
I would too. Because what am I
It's
going
the
to do?
most
in
scenic.
Yeah, what am I
It's
going
the
to
most
do? in-
scenic.
Or if
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
probably
You're
going
gonna
to
die no matter
It's
what.
the less.
Sick.
It's the least extreme of the conditions.
Arctic,
too.
I'm gonna like what sled,
Yeah.
desert.
I'm pretty sure Antarctica's pretty flat too. I feel like
Desert
Yeah,
would just
exactly.
be
I'd find a hill.
brutal.
you'd find a couple dogs
Desert
dog
would
sled.
not be good for the sweaties.
That's
You'd be sweating it.
I
You'd be
would
but
lose
there's
sweating
also
the whole
nobody
time.
around there to
So it doesn't matter.
kind of judge him.
But my water
Yeah.
source would be depleted quickly.
Oh,
You'd
So-
die within a minute.
Just sweat out everything.
Cool. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up here. Be sure to send us questions on Instagram. DM us. We respond to literally every single person who messages us, unless you're a complete weirdo. So also be sure to follow us on all the social medias at PIMS Podcast. Brian and Cam, where can they follow you guys? What's like your ats? Just remind them real quick.
You can follow me on Instagram at Brian Mogg, BrianMoggg, and the same thing on TikTok.
Sweet. Cam.
You can follow me on TikTok and Instagram at CAMYOOS Camios. I will also respond to any DM that you guys send me, even if it's creepy. Probably I'll respond to it.
Whoa,
I
okay.
probably won't respond.
Kyle, where can they follow you?
Instagram at Kyle Stafford 36. Follow the podcast at Pins Podcast. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Come find us. Come say hi.
Yep. We also have a Patreon at patreon.com/PIMS Podcast where you get extra content every month. So if you guys want to check it out, there you go. But with all that being said, we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Peace out.
See ya.